all, and welcome to this episode on Coaching, Counseling, Connection. My name is Nina Kalivas, and I'm the Vice President of Global Account Management for the Americas here at WPO. I'm so pleased to be with you today. Joining me in this conversation are two very special guests, Debbie Jonkine, Senior VP of Coaching and Leadership Development, and Crystal Fleming, Senior VP of Global Clinical Operations, both working at Workplace Options. Debbie and Crystal, welcome. I wanted to start off with each of you by telling us a little bit more about these services. Debbie, you've been leading the coaching team at WPO for many years. Can you tell us more about this service and what it includes?
Yeah, it's been an exciting place to be in the coaching world and see how it's grown over the, almost 12 years that I've been here. At Workplace Options, we bucket our coaching products into a couple different products. So most commonly, that's life coaching, wellness coaching. We have a small niche in tobacco cessation coaching, and our newest service is executive coaching. And I can describe more about those as we go on, but that's sort of the main buckets of the products that we offer.
Great. Appreciate that. Can you provide some examples of the common topics that can be covered in coaching?
Yeah, so I think it might first be important to point out why people come to coaching. So I often say that coaching is one of those services, especially the life coaching and wellness coaching, that are really an option that could serve every member of an organization, because people come to coaching because they want to move from where they're at right now to something more of that they want in their life. So it's professional development, it's well-being development, and you are going from something that might already be working and you just want to make it better, or maybe something that's not working so good and you also want to get some tips and habits to show some improvement. So under life coaching, for example, we see a lot of people coming who are talking about career development. They're talking about organization, time management, transitions, many, happy transitions or other transitions in life. People will connect with a life coach. Wellness coaching is a little bit more specific niche, and that is focused on health topics. So things like weight management, physical activity, sleep, stress, even managing chronic conditions. So not coming to us because of expert advice, but really working with a coach on those habits that's going to help you live well and manage some type of chronic disease you may be living with.
Thanks. That's really helpful. Crystal, on the counseling side, can you talk about what kind of therapeutic approaches are used in our participant engagements?
Yeah, absolutely. I think in order to talk about the therapeutic techniques, it really starts with that first conversation that somebody connects with us in order to seek support. And typically that is the clinical team that helps to have that initial conversation. And so the approach is really to engage and to listen in through a power of a good conversation. We want to understand why somebody connected with us today. And we really listen and we ask a lot of open-ended questions to further understand what it is that they are trying to achieve. That is in everything that we do. We take the holistic approach to understand all aspects of their mental, emotional, and physical well-being in order to, really listen for the areas and services that could benefit from them. And so as we're listening to the reason that they're connecting with us, the clinician is really going to use an approach to understand what is the best way to support them. Sometimes that could be that we're able to resolve that directly in the moment through a single session therapy. Let's say somebody is in the place of, having maybe a disagreement with a coworker and wanted to talk through how to resolve it. And it was kind of one problem and they're focused on just understanding the solution to that problem. Then they may benefit from single session therapy. Other times we're really assessing what that need is in order to understand, could they benefit from coaching, or is it something that they may need to benefit a little bit more from counseling? And when it comes to the therapeutic, if they are to receive counseling, when it comes to the therapeutic approaches that could be beneficial, typically counselors really pull from a variety of techniques in order to understand what is the best evidence-based technique that can support them. So when addressing specific mental health needs, let's say anxiety or depression, somebody may benefit from cognitive behavioral therapy. Let's say if their thoughts are coming to the place of, this is never going to get better, things are always going wrong in my life. Those are things that a therapist is going to work with somebody in order to challenge some of those techniques to help them get unstuck. So those are a little bit of what we use. We also pull from a variety of, person-centered, solution-focused counseling to really focus on the present and the future to help them resolve the particular issue. Systems theory, family theory, to understand how their whole system and family is connected. And so that's what we're doing in counseling, is to really pull from a variety of techniques in order to help address what the problem is that they came to us when they first contacted the service.
Thank you. A question we often get is, how do you approach situation when there's an overlap between counseling and coaching? For example, if a participant is experiencing stress. Crystal, let's start with you.
Yeah. So stress is one of those interesting ones that it could go either way, either to coaching or counseling. So when we are evaluating that, we really want to understand what the need is and what the focus and goals are. So where is that person at in being able to manage their stress levels, and what is the goal that they want to focus on? Somebody who's experiencing stress maybe in multiple facets of their life, home, work, in their personal well-being, their connection, their relationships. Maybe they don't have a good understanding on what their triggers are that are leading to that stress, or how it's exactly impacting their physical or emotional well-being, or how to even get unstuck to be able to move forward from managing that stress, is likely going to benefit more from the counseling side of things. They're able to process those in order to help them manage it in the future. But I think somebody who is a little bit more focused, maybe somebody who has experienced stress in the past, has some pretty good coping skills, but wants to learn better ways to manage it. They're in a place to say, I want to learn additional techniques, and I'm really focused on, that's my purpose and intention to be able to move forward. And I think Debbie can talk to this a little bit more, but that would be where the referral for us would come in to trigger that coaching may be beneficial to that person versus counseling.
Great. That's really helpful. And Debbie, on the other side of that same coin, when would coaches then refer potentially back to clinical?
Yeah, so let me just follow first a little bit to what Crystal said about how a coach would support someone with stress. What a coach is really equipped to do is to meet someone where they're at. And coaching is very client driven. So the client has to be in the mindset and the sort of mental wellness, if you will, to be able to take really kind of full charge of the coaching sessions, to set their own strategies, to collaborate with the coach and maybe brainstorm some ideas. But the coach is not wearing the expert hat where they're making suggestions or directives to the client or offering any type of therapy. So low level stress, good stress in life, stress kind of invades lots of different areas that we see coaches work around, like losing weight. Stress impacts on weight management, or starting a brand new job. There's stress there. So I really think it's like a person's ability to engage with where they're at and take an active role in the coaching session and be sort of the one that's driving the session is often the key, whether they are suitable for coaching or whether we should refer them to counseling. It's so wonderful to have coaching embedded within our services with our clinicians. We call the clinical team our safety net, if you will, because sometimes people still like the idea of signing up with a coach, and they come to coaching when what we really know is that they need a higher level of care or a type of therapeutic support that's outside of scope for coaches. And so that's when we can easily make the recommendation to our clinical team. And we have all kinds of internal processes for that, all the way up to someone is really at imminent risk. We have a protocol to follow. But more often what happens is that you're talking with someone, you're reminding them about the scope of coaching, and they keep sort of drifting out into something that's a little bit more the hat of a clinician. The coach can make that recommendation that they may want to access their counseling benefit. So, for example, if someone's working on sleep, and as they're just talking about sleep hygiene and things like this, a lot more things come up that you can tell that's really the cause for them not sleeping, things that they really might need to discuss with a counselor, then that is one example of how we could refer them over to counseling or at least make the recommendation. Or sometimes they'll finish all coaching sessions and then go to counseling after they have decided that's the right time for them.
Really helpful, Debbie. I think it gives great clarification, I think, from both of you on, our coaching and clinical engagement with participants while also highlighting our holistic approach to the whole human and how we engage with them. It really goes to the ethos, I think, of who we are. So thank you so much. I appreciate your time. Before we close off, I just want to highlight that Workplace Options Wellbeing programs can, of course, include this wide array of coaching and clinical engagement, as well as all of our practical workplace services. For more information, refer to the website or to your account manager for more details. Appreciate everyone listening.